Text 35192. Get to me that way. No phones in here today. But you can still get us up at the Alan Cox Show After Hours line. That's 216-986-8903. You can always use that if you are a podcast listener and you can't listen in real time, or, you listen to the show, you think of something later, you can always drop it on that line there. Otherwise, you can get us at alancoxshow.com. You can watch the show live there. Today is going to be your last chance to try to get on Poundcake's tubing team. You go to alancoxshow.com. Use the keyword Polar Blast. 1 week from tonight is the 10th annual Alan Cox Show Polar Blast Battle back at Boston Mills Brandywine. About an hour from now, I'll get one final person on Mary's team, Snow Babies. We'll do that via text.
Okay.
I'll just say text or something, and I'll have their phone number, and we'll hit them up and tell them that they're on the team.
Got it.
Whitney Cummings will be on the show on Tuesday. She is coming to town on her How Dare You tour. She's going to play the Agora on the 25th of April. She kicks off the tour first week of March. And then Wednesday, our boy Tom Papa is going to be checking in. His new Netflix hour drops the day before. It's called You're Doing Great. I was trying to get Maria Bamford on because she's got a new hour, too, that is very, very funny. But, things being what they are. Yeah.
You ever hear the moose soup lady?
Yeah.
You're doing great!
Things being what they are, nothing yet. I like wrong answers if you get yourself to the level where you are on a game show. It was really I got to tell you, they did the greatest of all time tournament over at Jeopardy a couple of weeks ago, where they had the three winningest people ever on that show. They had this Holzhauer guy, who I guess won the most games, and then they had Ken Jennings, who has won the most money or something. Then they had this guy who is from the early 90s. Still a young guy, but he was from the early 90s, and I guess at the time, he was the biggest guy to ever do Jeopardy. And they wiped the floor with this guy. I mean, these other two dudes... these other two dudes were so good that by the time they needed this third guy from the early 90s, he was he might as well have just been watching, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he's any dumber. It's just up against these guys' strategy and I guess the depth and breadth of their knowledge. I don't know. It didn't go so well for him. And so to transition, Ken Jennings won, of course, but to transition from that to now just watching regular garden variety Jeopardy.
Boo.
Amateurs. I don't want amateurs.
Boo.
Boo. Anyway, I don't watch Wheel of Fortune. But
I do.
Do you?
Not regular.
Are you good at it?
I'm great at it.
I mean, you probably dropped the median age of that audience by about 45 years.
Well, like I said, I didn't grow up with cable, so things like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, I'd watch every single night, and pretty good at it.
Yeah, we didn't have cable either. I never got into Wheel of Fortune. I would watch Jeopardy from time to time.
Wheel of Fortune was on right before.
I know, but I was not, as the parlance goes, a wheel watcher.
Wheel watcher.
Anyway, they give you the final thing, the category, and you're trying to get yourself $50,000 or whatever. This woman had $45,000 on the line. And obviously this is largely visual, but I'll walk you through it. The final round here, the topic was, what are you doing?
Can I write it down to guess?
You'd have to look at it, sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You want to write it down?
I thought you were going to explain it.
Well, I am, but I mean, it's still largely, The answer was kicking back.
Oh.
Well, you got to look at it.
Come on.
How am I going to transcribe Wheel of Fortune for you? Okay, there's 4 empty boxes and then an NG.
Yes.
It's kicking back.
Okay,
all right, I'm
fine.
giving you the Cliff's Notes here. But the woman thought it was something else.
Chasing tail? No. Oh, kicking back. I started to say Kate.
See, Pat should have, at this point, there should be nothing that trips you up.
Right.
He did the mime thing where he, locks his lips and throws the key away because she said chasing tail.
Yeah.
Hardly, even for the geriatrics that are watching Wheel of Fortune, chasing tail is not something that's going to throw anybody into
No.
a tail spin, if you will. And for as long as Vanna White has been doing that show, Pat had emergency gut surgery or something a couple of weeks ago. So Vanna hosted, first time she's ever done it in 39 years. And his daughter, who's Foxy, was the letter turner, right? And you'd think after all that time, Vanna watching how it goes, she would have been a little bit more adept at it.
No.
Boy, she was standing like she'd never been on camera before.
It's like when you have a different role. Like if you, I'm driving my kids, now they're driving, and they're like, I don't know how to get anywhere. I'm like, yeah, because you guys never pay attention when we're driving around.
Why would you?
Yeah, and that was the same way when I was a kid. I'm like, I don't know how to drive to school.
Right.
I
Go to school every day. Have no idea how to get there.
Didn't know how to get to school.
I mean, I did, but it's like those simple things. Like,
Yeah.
you second guess yourself because you're like, oh, I think I turn here.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Well, also now you don't need to know how to get anywhere. My wife gives me a hard time all the time because my wife, when she used to scout locations for films and shows for many years here, she knows everywhere throughout the tri-state area because she's been so many places. But there are places I go all the time. I'll still put into my GPS. She'll be like, you know how to get there. I go, maybe it's going to tell me a quicker way. Maybe I don't. I doubt myself.
Hey, there's traffic.
Yeah.
There's an accident.
Sometimes
you don't even have to know anymore.
I just need to be reminded of what exit to get off of a lot of times. So I'll boot it up, look at the list, and then I'm fine. I can get pretty much anywhere in Michigan. I go the same way. You just take 80, and then I'll go to 23, and then I have to go to Western Michigan. I'm like, I'll get off at whatever exit.
I mean, I don't know how people. I don't know if anyone functionally gets lost anymore.
You can't.
I don't know how you could get lost unless you can't get a signal with your phone or whatever. You maybe keep the Rand McNally in your glove box.
I had that happen to me one time in Indiana. I was on the wrong highway, which has happened more than once. And then I realized that I wasn't going the right way. And when I pulled off to find out where I was, my GPS, I had no signal because I was just in the middle of Indiana. And I was trying to figure out where I was. And I was like, I'm not going to go into a gas station and ask a dude, I have to figure out how to get back to the highway that I was on because I have no idea where I'm at right now. My phone wouldn't have a signal in the middle of cornfields.
Well, that's when it's good to pay attention where the sun is. You got to go old school.
But that doesn't
Gas station
help.
is by a map. Yeah, it does. You go, sun's that way.
They still have
I know
maps.
which way is east and west because I can tell where the sun is in the sky.
But how do you know? How do you know which way? Where the sun's going to be?
Well, what time? Unless it's noon, it's directly overhead. You can tell which way the sun's going. Right?
So you're saying at 4 p.m. and you face the sun. You're like, all right, that way is
that way's west.
west.
Yeah.
Did you not know that?
I knew that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, but I would have never been like, let me look at the sun to try and navigate the universe.
Really?
Like that. No.
Universe.
Navigate the universe via the sun. All right.
Do you ever see, as you're driving and going to different shows, do you ever see people on the highway, have a huge map sprawled out in front of them?
know.
That's a thing of the past, right?
I don't see it, but I also don't really pay attention to what other people are doing.
Oh, see, I'm always
she's
looking at
texting.
people's cars.
I'm texting. I'm on Instagram.
In the car,
She's doing a
texting
story.
on Instagram.
I'm a pretty
Here's how you
negligent
use-
driver.
yeah,
I'm
I
not going to
know,
lie.
yeah.
I'm a pretty negligent driver.
Alan, you drive a lot. Do you see any of that? Someone has there's a guy driving and then his wife is like, all right, Eugene.
I don't think so. Nope.
No,
Because
there's
I
not a lot
think
of that
Even
anymore.
old people?
even old people have access to technology. They love it. They're like, I don't need a map
And
anymore.
it'll talk to you.
Some
It'll
people are
tell
stuck in their
you,
ways, though.
Turn left here.
There are some
I
old
don't,
people that's
I don't know if anybody is so stuck in their ways that they'd rather have a paper map. That even if it's not on their phone, you still see people with Garmin's,
Yeah.
with GPS
Yeah.
devices. So, and it's
what do they call it? TomToms? Was that a
That was a
TomTom was
brand,
a
yeah.
Tom,
Okay.
yeah.
But they're standard in a lot of cars. So even if grandpa's driving a Cadillac, he's probably got GPS in
Yeah.
it.
According to this map.
I
is
want to
like
go
on-
here, and it tells you where you're going. No, I mean they still sell maps, but I feel like they're almost nostalgic tokens
Yeah,
at this
I
point.
used
Do
to
you
collect them,
remember
actually.
the AAA triptychs where you could plan a trip and they would print out how to get there and it would give you step by step as you're driving and then it would
No.
give you
Like
little
MapQuest?
recommendations.
I remember printing
It was-
out MapQuest.
It
Yeah.
was like that, but it was it was part of the reason you would join AAA is because you could get these. You'd be like, okay, we're going to Florida. How do we get there? And they would make a whole itinerary for you.
Oh.
It was pretty cool. I mean, it's antiquated now, but in the late '90s or mid '90s, it was really convenient.
When I first started driving, iPhones were still new. I mean, this was only 10 years ago, but I would print out MapQuest and then write the reverse directions on the back so I didn't waste printer ink or paper.
I had
So
notebooks.
that way I
Wow.
would do that, yeah.
I had notebooks that were full of directions where I would have to go to a library, figure out where I'm going.
Yeah,
And then print it out, or if they couldn't print it out, I'd write it all in my notebook.
yeah.
It was yeah.
I might have some
Different
in
time.
notebooks back then, too.
Alan, I'm a dog groomer, and every dog gets vinegar mixed in with their shampoo. It makes their coat shiny and soft. Tell Mary.
I'm not putting vinegar in my hair.
Are you trying? How shiny and soft do you want your coat, Mary? Think about it. All right?
Listen, I bought my
How
coat for the
shiny
first
and
time
soft
this
do you
year.
want it?
Not doing it. I'm
Apple
smelling
cider
vinegar.
vinegar that's good for you, not the apple cider drink. That apple cider vinegar, good for your hair.
It's supposed to be good for everything I see about, like, oh, you have a cold, drink a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Oh,
By the way, hair
you
is-
don't feel great?
Hair is dead anyway. Like
Yeah, that's right.
So all you
Hair's
got to
dead.
do is
Shave
keep
it.
your scalp clean. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, keep your hair clean.
Does that freak you out? That
Not
your hair's
greasy.
dead?
No.
You're
Do you-
covered in
give you
dead stuff.
nightmares? You're covered in dead.
No. Because it's on my living body.
It's touching your shoulders right
That's
now.
fine.
Think
It's
about
not dead.
this. I would consider a haircut of any stripe to be a violent death.
No. The hair
You're
doesn't
taking
feel.
doesn't matter. It's still the violence is in the intent,
No.
not in the receipt.
I've never gone into a haircut violently.
Perhaps, but it's scissors cutting dead material.
So
The
that's
fa-
not a murder or suicide. It's
I didn't
already
say
dead.
it was a murder. I said it was violent,
Okay.
which is what you
It's
don't
not-
like.
It's not violent. Getting a haircut is never. If you're getting a violent haircut,
You're taking
You're
no.
probably getting murdered.
I'm saying by definition, you're cutting off a part of your body with a sharp implement.
Yes, but it's
That's not-
hair. There's no feeling there. There's no nerve endings. There's
Doesn't
no nothing.
matter.
So you can't
Like
feel
I
it.
said, the intent, not the receipt.
No,
It's still a
it's
okay.
not. I've never had
You
violent
can-
intent with a haircut.
No.
You coming out like, ah!
You're cutting.
your
You're
You'd have your mom
cutting.
cut your hair.
You're cutting a part of your body off.
That's fine. It's not violent.
You don't have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem.
You
with
would
that.
move into a house if you found out a lot of haircuts had been given
I
there.
actually would.
A lot of dead haircuts.
Probably find some drugs because the hairstylist lived there.
My mom cut our hair till I was probably like in 5th or 6th grade. Not
I
great.
remember my dad cutting our hair when we were
Yeah,
little.
we'd get our hair cut because I mean it was just a ton of money and it would save her a ton of time.
Yeah.
If she do it, and haircuts were like she just
For
give
little
them-
boys, too.
Yeah, little basic haircuts, like just kind of, especially like we like the basically the bowl cut where it's like you let it grow out on top and then part it in the middle and then just shave underneath.
Yeah.
And that was like the cool cut.
The wedge
haircut
cut.
to have. Yeah.
So if you lose the polar blast, this is going to be a very nostalgic punishment for you then.
Yeah, kind of.
Should we have your mom cut your hair?
That's kind of funny.
Let Sue go
Yeah.
violent on your head.
hilarious.
Yeah. No, because
your own mom gets to give you a
because
bowl
there
cut.
were like Time Life books how to cut your kid's hair.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in
She
a
wasn't
chair.
bad at it.
No, I thought my dad was pretty good, and then I would go back and look at school pictures. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I want your mom
No
to
wonder I
come
wasn't
in
getting
here
laid.
with a bowl on your head and just shave the rest of it and your beard. That would be incredible.
Sure. She can positively contribute to the show. Just get up under there and take it all off, baby.
If
All right, I
she's
got
even around.
$1,000 to give to you here. It's a chance for you to go fund yourself every hour. Good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Go fund yourself. We have your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword YELL to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info, standard data, and message rate supply in this nationwide contest. That's YELL to 200-200. Good luck and go fund yourself from 100.7 WMMS.
A lot of people texting me that they still use maps.
I can't believe that someone who knows how to text would use a map.
We use maps. We have a map right here.
That's not the same. That's not a road map.
It tells you where our bureau chiefs are. It's a
Yeah, but it
road
doesn't
map
tell
to
you how to get to them.
look at you. Zoom in. Take your finger and forefinger
And
and
zoom?
yeah, and
Pinch zoom?
thumb. That's right.
Because you're using the blanket that Alan got you that has a picture of me on it, it looks like it's skin colored.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
keep
It's like you're
looking
naked.
over at you on the webcam, and I'm like, why is Mary's body out? I'm like,
No.
I'm like, I can't look
It's
over
actually
there.
your body. That's
I know, right? It's my body.
I like thinking of what? Nope.
What?
I don't remember.
You okay?
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Thinking of what?
I don't know.
You just lost it.
I just lost it. Gone. Right out of my head.
Okay. Barbers were the first surgeons. See, I told
There
you.
you go.
Oh, barbers are not surgeons.
They were though.
Tell a barber that.
You Sweeney Todd.
And psychiatrists. You just go into the hair salon or the barber shop and they cut your hair and you just feel so much more one with yourself.
Talk to somebody who's been in the military and then tell me they don't have violent haircuts.
I am saying that I have never had a violent haircut.
Yeah, that's because you're not brave enough to serve our country, Mary.
100% accurate.
Alan and I still print off MapQuest. All right, again, Mary's point, valid. You're still texting me about it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You literally have the technology in your hand to not do that anymore.
Yeah. Alan, you think Mary cries a lot now? Wait till she kills somebody on the road because she's Instagram storying behind the wheel. Yeah. You know what? In fact, I can't wait until you kill someone. How do you like that?
That's a very mean thing to say.
To you or to the victim?
Both.
Well,
I know you. I don't know the victim.
From texting.
Well, I don't. I've gotten much better about
Instagramming.
it. I've actually gotten much better about that.
Well, now what does that mean? You've gotten much better.
That
you
I
do it
would-
less?
Yes.
Maybe do it 0.
I'm getting better.
Why can't you wait till a stoplight
Getting
or
better.
something?
Well, because when you're on the same road for 468 miles and you're just like, oh, now what?
Why don't you just do the talk to text?
Well,
It's
listen
not
to
that.
podcasts.
I'm not
That's-
even gonna lie. It's a lot of Instagram. It's a lot of. I know.
scrolling through
just
people's
let
feed?
people come at me.
Yeah. And a truck will be coming at you if you keep doing that.
I know. Well,
True.
Lecturing me.
Cause
He doesn't want you to kill somebody.
I'm not gonna kill anybody. I'll put my phone
You never
down.
know. You never know.
like if there's
My phone is down most.
gonna be the
of
last thing
time
you hear.
now. No, it will not. See, look.
people make fun of me because I'm such a safe driver and like I drive slow, but a bitch, I'm not trying to die.
Slow
that's
is
all.
not necessarily safe.
But
You can still cause
a
an
careful
accident by
driver,
going
I
though.
drive at a safe speed. Everyone makes fun of me.
He is a careful driver.
All right, good.
He doesn't text and drive. I've
Good
ridden
for
with
you.
him before. He's a good boy.
But like my friends, they're all like pedal to the metal, and I'm afraid I'm gonna catch death riding with them because they're passing people when you're not supposed to pass. Like I was like, there's no like dotted line here. You're not supposed to pass. Whatever. He's going slow. I'm like, oh my god. And then always riding on E. I can't deal with people like that.
Oh man.
Oh,
riding on
I
E.
hate
that.
it. They're like
Ghost riding the E.
They're like, the light is on. They're like, oh, don't worry, I still got 25 more miles. I'm like, well, your meter says 17. They're like, oh, well, it's still 10 more miles after that, so we good. I'm like, oh my gosh, please get gas.
I had
hate
one
that.
time.
Poundcake, if you're riding shotgun, you're probably making the driver nervous.
Well,
you're making
that's
me
fine.
nervous
I don't-
just listening to you talk
I don't
about
want
it.
to ride with them then. Like, they're like, come on, it'll be fast. I'm like, I'd rather Uber than ride with you. I don't want to ride with you.
Just fart in their car. They'll never give you a ride again.
I had my gas line freeze one time, and I missed a show because of it. And since then, I don't. In the wintertime, I don't let my gas get like below. I don't like to let it get below half a tank because I'm afraid that's going to happen again. I had a
All
really
right.
old, terrible car. It was what kind of car was that? Toyota Camry.
I had one of those. I
It
had
was
an 02
really
Camry.
old though. Yeah,
I had
it
one
was
for
like
a long time.
Early 2000s, late 90s, but I had it like 5 years ago.
It was my divorce car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my brother's car, and he sold it to me for like $1,500 or something like that.
It came with a map in the glove box.
Hey, there you
Nice.
go.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Thank you very much, Miss South Carolina.
She made a lot of good points.
She really did. It's hard to rebut that. Alan, try FapQuest. It'll get you where you want to go in an entirely different way. What about that?
gross.
Do you see what they did?
You never done that?
They replaced
I've
the
done
M
that.
with an F.
You would never put one in, like a vibrator or something, while you're driving? And then
In.
Why? You just let it sit there.
Yeah.
Because then it goes up into your bladder,
then it's
Poundcake, and no
lost.
one wants that.
That's the wrong hole.
Huh? The
340.
vibrator doesn't know that. There you
Yeah,
go.
I've done a. Yeah, don't put it in your bladder. Jerk and drive.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
My one buddy, he's a comic. He would do it. It's called edging. I'm sure you guys heard of that.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you don't
Yes.
finish, and he said it would make him perform better. He would do it on his way to gigs, and then he would be all amped up, and he said he would perform better, and then he would go home and finish.
He's the blue ball comic.
Finally
guess.
gets to release afterwards.
Yeah, he works really blue.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying.
Who is that?
Doesn't matter.
I want to know.
Look for the guy who's got the blue Monongahela's, Bill.
bulge.
Walking around in his pants. That's right. Okay, let me break. We're going to put somebody on Mary's Polar Blast team closer to 420. Last spot for Snow Babies. 1 week from tonight, we'll go back to Boston Mills Brandywine for the Polar Blast battle. Today's the last day to try to get on Poundcake's team. So if you want to do that, you can register at AlanCoxShow.com. Use the keyword Polar Blast.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our